As you can see, Shannon Sharpe doesn't want to go down by himself. He's trying to take Katt Williams down with him in case you missed the tea. Recently, Shannon has been criticized by several powerful celebrities who don't like how he constantly spills the beans on them. These celebrities are reportedly trying to shut down Shannon's podcast, but for some reason, Shannon blames Katt Williams for everything that went wrong, saying that it all began when Katt joined his show. He accused Katt of lying during their explosive interview, setting him up for the fall. Now, you know that Katt Williams isn't one to let things go, so he clapped back at Shannon, exposing Shannon as a fraud. Get involved in this messy drama because things are about to get crazy between these two. It's been almost 7 months since Shannon Sharpe dropped his mind-blowing interview with Katt Williams, and the industry is still shaking. The video alone has racked up over 70 million views, so you know it's a massive hit now. You think that folks would have moved on from the drama by now, right? Well, not quite. Fans are still buzzing and Shannon is still getting roasted. To get this, he's now turning the tables and blaming Katt Williams for all the backlash, even accusing him of trying to ruin his life and career. Now, this whole mess has been ruined ever since the podcast dropped, and at first Katt was the one catching all the smoke and hate from fellow comedians and entertainers. This isn't surprising though, because Katt spilled a whole lot of tea on celebrities and it did not go down well. They felt he was throwing shade and embarrassing his fellow black artists, which they weren't having, but let's be real, that really went in hard on them. And some folks thought he was giving off hater vibes. His career wasn't always the best in the past, and there were accusations of him being jealous. Well, Kevin Hart also jumped in, dragging Katt on social media and calling him a clown that belongs in a circus. And honestly, it's tough to blame Kevin because Katt didn't hold back on him either, accusing Kevin of being a fraud who steals jokes. Katt went on to say that Kevin acts like he's very successful when he's not. Katt says that a lot of what Kevin brags about is false, and he has faked many things in his work, such as a heated argument.
In 15 years in Hollywood, no one in Hollywood has a memory of going to a sold-out Kevin Hart show, there being a line for him ever getting a standing ovation at any comedy club. He already had his deals when he got here. Have we heard of a comedian that came to LA and in his first year in LA, he had his own sitcom on network television and had his own movie called Soul Plane that he was leading? No, we've never heard of that before that person or since that person. What do you think a plant is?
Katt coming after Kevin didn't really come out of thin air though. The fight between these two goes back as far as we can remember. The trouble began when Katt talked about how nowhere. The fight between these two goes back as far as we can remember. It all began when Katt talked about how the business had shunned him for telling the truth. Kevin Hart didn't like this at all, so he went on The Breakfast Club and said that Katt Williams was banned because of his drug use and how hard it was to work with him. That's how the drama train started going, so Katt spilling tea on Kevin on Club Shay was something of a payback for Kevin's words, but Kevin wasn't having any of it because he clapped back again, calling Katt a clown who belonged in the circus.
Hey, Kev, you didn't say nothing to Katt Williams when he did a 3-hour interview talking slow yesterday. You didn't put a shot clock on him.
Well, do you entertain the circus or do you watch it, Kurt? Which one do you do?
So yeah, there was a lot of back and forth between Katt and the celebs that he called out on the show. But here's the kicker, while Katt was getting dragged left to right, Shannon stayed silent. He didn't say a thing to defend Katt or check the haters. He just watched while Katt got roasted. But as Beyonce said, what goes around comes back around. Hey my shush. And now Shannon is being dragged by the same people who had a lot to say about Katt. He's been fighting for his life against the comments, and he's losing big time because people are not letting him breathe. After his interview with Katt, it was Katt who caught all the heat, and now Shannon is the one in the hot seat. It all started after his interview with Monique, where he dragged Tyler Perry, Oprah, and even her own son. Now Shannon is getting all the smoke. This is where people began to accuse Shannon of using this platform to stir up unnecessary drama between black celebs, and it was starting to feel like the whole point of his show was to invite black artists to trash other black artists who weren't even there to defend themselves against the accusations. Dave Chappelle was one of the first comedians to drag Shannon and Katt when he said, "What part of the game is this? He eat the ninjas." He didn't say anything about any of these white boys. None of these white boys function like that. Katt is one of the best painters in the game, so why are you drawing ugly pictures of us? Stop. Hurt people, but I'm a hurt person that never hurt people, and he does it all the time. He also accused Shannon and Katt of trying to ruin the livelihoods of his fellow black man. And he said, "If I told my story, it would break your heart. I lost everything and never ever told on anybody," and he is acting like the arbiter of truth. Katt, listen, with Katt hard, but Dre, tell me what part of the game sets up another ninja's paper? What part of the game is about telling on another ninja? Well, once Dave kicked off the combo, it was all anyone could talk about. People quickly shifted their focus from Katt to Shannon's role in the whole drum fest. They felt he was purposefully bringing on controversial artists just to stir up the pot and rack up views. And guess what? It worked. His interviews with Katt and Monique went viral and got the most views. If his goal was to get views, well, we have to say mission accomplished. But let's be real, who doesn't love some drama and controversy and juicy accusations? However, other comedians have been voicing their disapproval, like D.L. Hughley, who accused Shannon of being messy and helping his guests spread lies and false narratives about the people they talked about.
Well, Club Shay Shay is getting messier and messier. It's almost like Wendy Williams didn't go anywhere. She just got a weight set. And so Monique was on. Every time I see Monique these days, she's on doing some greasy-ass video with her and her daddy complaining about something or working out. I don't know nobody that work out that much and gain weight unless every crunch you do has got Captain in front of it. But apparently she goes on Club Shay Shay and tells the story about how she came on my radio show and I wasn't there at the time.
The same Steve that went to go watch Mark Curry do his whole sitcom and then stole everything Mark Curry had. Now Steve got a sitcom where he the principal and he wear a suit and then he gets this high top fade, making all black men think he got the best lineup in the business, and it's a man unit. Then you ask it, why you not a movie star? I didn't want to be a movie star. This the same Negro that hated on Bernie with this same thing. I didn't want to be a movie star. No, you couldn't be a movie star. There are 30,000 new scripts in Hollywood every year. Not one of them asks for a country bumpkin black dude that can't talk good Oba-Kaby and look like Mr. Potato Head. There ain't none. You would have to have range. I played a lot of characters, 60 movie roles. I'm not playing Katt Williams in there.
Rapper Mace also dragged Shannon, calling him out for being anti-black and pointing out how Shannon has all this energy for black people, but it's crickets from him when a white guy tries to come for him.
You call yourself coming at me, right? You want to be aggressive with me, right? Listen, you showed poise, respect, wherewithal, resolve, compassion, reverence for Skip Bayless. Why are you so aggressive anytime somebody black say something? The man said, put your glasses on, and you put your glasses back on.
The same Steve that went to go watch Mark Curry do his whole sitcom and then stole everything Mark Curry had. Now Steve got a sitcom where he the principal and he wear a suit and then he gets this high top fade, making all black men think he got the best lineup in the business, and it's a man unit. Then you ask it, why you not a movie star? I didn't want to be a movie star. This the same Negro that hated on Bernie with this same thing. I didn't want to be a movie star. No, you couldn't be a movie star. There are 30,000 new scripts in Hollywood every year. Not one of them asks for a country bumpkin black dude that can't talk good Oba-Kaby and look like Mr. Potato Head. There ain't none. You would have to have range. I played a lot of characters, 60 movie roles. I'm not playing Katt Williams in there. This is like Steve Harvey telling people he used to be homeless. That's my story. That's not his story. Steve Harvey wasn't never homeless. When Mark Curry was touring with him 25 years ago, he was making $3,000 a show in cash and doing 5 shows a week. They just tell the stories. Thanks to my wife, I'm where I am. You said that about the first wife. You forget that? You told us it was her, then you went and married somebody else that think like a man. Like, what are you talking about? They think they can rewrite history.
Do you consider yourself a king of comedy? Where the Katt?
No, they consider that.
Oh,
like when after Bernie left, them same 3 guys I'm telling you about, the kings.
Yeah.
Right? Because DL is the greatest.
Yeah.
There's no DL slander gets tolerated. But they came to me. I was supposed to be the 4th king. I got the offer.
Then what happened?
But I turned it down.
Why?
Because you on Bernie. And I know the truth. You think I'm gonna let you shit on Bernie and then come get me? I'm the next king? You. Why? Because the whole time Bernie was here, you was acting like you was funnier than him. The reason you was supposed to go last is because it was your tour. Tell the truth. It was Steve's tour. Not it was gonna be called the Kings of Comedy, it was Steve's tour. These are the guys opening for him. Of course you gotta close if it's your tour. That's why it was such a big deal. But you couldn't do it, because you can't beat the best.
Now, I'm not going to lie, Mace did have a point there because Shannon does seem to treat white people with a lot more care. That's the same thing Dave Chappelle said about him. Dave pointed out how Katt and Shannon only went in on black artists, leaving white folks out of the conversation and accusing them of villainizing their fellow black men. Well, in true Shannon fashion, he's now throwing another black man under the bus, claiming Katt is to blame for this messy interview. He said Katt was the one steering the ship, and he was just asking follow-up questions based on what Katt said, and Shannon thinks it's unfair that he's catching all this heat when he was just doing his job as an interviewer. He didn't force Katt to spill the tea or say what he said, so if anyone should be getting dragged, it's Katt. He also hinted that some of Katt's stories on the podcast weren't true, hinting that Katt might have either lied or stretched the truth quite a bit. According to Shannon, he makes it a point of duty to reassure his guests that they don't have to talk about situations that they're uncomfortable with. He claims that the reason he does this is to make them feel more comfortable and open during the interview.
I said, is there anything that you don't want to talk about? I always ask the guests that. Sometimes they say, well, I would appreciate it if we not talk about this. Right. Cool, no problem. Because I believe you can tell your story without saying something negative. But yes, I believe a person that's been in a business, that's been doing something 10, 15, 20, 30 years are more than one salacious story. Right. That's what I believe. So if they say they want to stay away from it, but if they want to tell something, who am I to say, no, don't do, you can't tell that. Right. People, Cam, and I'm telling CJ and I was talking, he's like, what do you think? He's like, it's gonna happen? I'm like, I don't know. I said, all I can do is reach out, I can ask. Right. And he hit me back, let's do it. And I remember telling, I said, CJ, Katt Williams people hit me up and say they want to do it. He's like, for real? I was like, yeah, for real. I said, whatever we got, so whatever we have planned, I don't like them. I said, let's just clear it out. Because I don't know what day. It might be a Tuesday, it might be a Wednesday, it might be a Thursday, it might be a Friday. But clear it out. Because whenever the guest is available, let's do it. Right. I did Chris Brown's interview at about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night at his place. Right. So there's not a time that in which if I'm not working at First Take, that I'm not available. Right. So if you want to do it at midnight, we'll have a team there to shoot that footage at midnight. That's live. So he comes in. So I get there, I try to get there a little bit before the guest. CJ we might have some last minute, okay, CJ, okay, I kind of got a feeling of kind of how I want to go. I've moved some things around from the questions that you came up with and I came up with, but I've moved some of the stuff around because I think it just feels better. When I was going over this last night, it just felt better to go in this sequence. He's like, okay, hey, I trust you, you trust me, just go with your feeling. Yeah. So I get there, I'm getting mic'd up and I'm just talking. And he comes in, so he's already on one. He says, "I've been waiting a whole year, right, to say my piece."
The right space and platform to say his piece.
Yes. Now, a lot of people have said, "Oh, Shannon left so much on the table. Shannon is not a journalist." I never said I was a journalist. Right. If you listen in my intro, I said. Normally what I say, the person that's coming by for conversation and a drink, I'm a conversationalist, not an interviewer. It's a different space. He said, you've allowed other people a very safe place. That's why we like coming.
Keyword, safe.
Safe place.
Safe place.
I've also said on numerous occasions, if you want 60 minutes,
However, when it came to Katt, Shannon claimed that Katt was allegedly more than eager to start talking and there were no holes barred for him. He also claimed that there was no way for him to verify what Katt was saying and it was unfair for him to be getting all the smoke. Well, hold on, because Katt has his own side. According to an insider, Katt allegedly claimed that Shannon allegedly encouraged him to stretch the truth and even make up some stories to make it catchy. And I'm not going to lie, that don't even sound like Katt. I mean, he has built the record over the years of spill and tail on other celebs. Thanks to him, we have learned a lot about the shadiest and nastiest celebrities in the industry, and if Shannon was looking for someone to blow things up, it would make sense why he had Katt on his podcast now. This is a lot of he said, she said, and fans believe that Shannon is getting defensive because his podcast is not doing the crazy numbers it did in the weeks after his Katt interview. He's looking for someone to blame, and Katt is the perfect person to take that blame. Well, you know, the fans have been all over it, and they've been leaving comments saying the best thing about Shannon Sharpe's platform is that we can once and for all stop saying that women gossip more, cause that's a messy man right there. Boy, Shannon Sharpe is becoming messy. Batman Shannon Sharpe gives way too good of an introduction to be having this stage. Because he was so messy, he got to change the energy for a sec, or he was going to be hosting Media Takeout TV, and Shannon did this to himself. He has been messy trying to build his base and establish his brand as bigger and better. Wendy Williams, well, now every black artist is going to target him. Well, I don't know why y'all feel about it, but y'all got to let me know in the comments how you feel about Shannon. Do you think he's too messy, or are you team Shay Shay? And is he really charging Katt of trying to ruin his career? Drop your ideas in the comments below, and then check out this next video.